to do what the police officer tells you. Now, I know somebody will come up to you and say, you can't walk back and forth over there. You need to stand over there. Well, you know what? Just do it. Make a call to one of these folks, and they'll get a hold of us, and we'll solve it later. But I'd much rather someone followed the directions of the police officer, any public safety personnel, than not and get arrested for some foolish reason. Obviously, there's been picketing away from actual sites. If there's ambulatory picketing, if you're talking about leaving to follow a truck, you want to make sure that folks know that you're doing that. We certainly don't want people being set up or jacked up on the highway. You need to be very careful about what you do both at the picket line and away from the picket line. Even if you're driving home and you see a manager, those kinds of things can come back and haunt us. And as Bill pointed out, we're about getting everybody back to work at the end of this. Some folks, hopefully no one here, hopefully no one in IBW, but some folks think that being on strike is like a license to do all those things you did back in high school and didn't get caught doing. That's not true. That's not true. Being on strike is not a license to do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do as a sensible person. And more importantly, you can lose your job for doing something on strike, even if it's offensive conduct, offensive language, profanity. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't influence people. It's not going to stop someone from crossing a picket line, but using profanity or offensive language or threats or anything of that nature is also something that could cost you your job. And of course, that makes things even harder to settle in a labor dispute because now we've got people that have been left behind. So I see everybody here is very sensible. For the people who are not here, you want to pass the message along. And that is that they want to obey the law and obey the public safety personnel and behave the same way you would expect people to behave in your living room. If anyone is hurt or any incidents happen that you think we should know about, just jot it down, the license plate number, the name of somebody, and get that information back to us, and we'll take care of it later on. If you have any questions about something that's happening and you need it answered, again, get a hold of Bill or your leadership, and they'll get a hold of us, and we'll get you an answer. You know, the only complaint, just to finish up, the only complaint that we've had from anybody, and we've also been in touch with all the various police departments that we can, the only complaint we've gotten is that somebody was noisy. Well, you can be noisy. That is illegal. You can be noisy. But people have used good judgment all along. And so we appreciate that. Keep us bored. Give us nothing to do. And we'll be happy, and it'll get you a better result and a quicker result to your dispute. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark. And I believe, you know, basically, I think we all know what Verizon is looking for. They're looking to point out, you know, that we're doing bad things, that these are bad people, you know, that they're impacting customer service by doing some bad things. And you know what? That is, we don't want any part of it. We are good people. We're professional. We're well-trained, we're efficient, we're productive, and we should be the pride and joy of this corporation. And they should appreciate the work that each and every one of you do every day. That's the image that we're projecting. And so far, the media coverage has been fair because we've been able to get out in front of the issues and explain to them, as Mark stated, we're not looking for a 10, 15% raise. We're not greedy. We're looking for a fair share. We're looking for a fair and just contract that protects our jobs. So, we would ask everyone to go online, file for employment. We'll begin that process. There is a 1-week waiting period anyways. People waiting until Friday, it's not going to be any difference. And I'm not saying it's a guarantee we're going to get unemployment. But it's all about putting pressure on this corporation any way that we can. Today, I had discussions with our congressional delegation, Senator Reid, Senator Whitehouse. both Senator Weed and Senator Whitehouse told me, through their staff, that whatever we need, they're there for working men and women in the state of Rhode Island, and we appreciate their support. I explained to both the staffs in the congressional delegation, at least the senatorial staffs, that this is all about maintaining jobs in the state of Rhode Island. And they are very strongly in favor of everything we can do, not only to maintain jobs, but to grow jobs in the state of Rhode Island. I would like to open it up to questions. I think one of the primary questions on people's mind, if I could just get ahead of this issue, is what is the current status of your medical benefits for all of our members? Unchanged. Unchanged. Everyone continues to have medical benefits as we speak. We have not been notified by Verizon that they are preparing to cut our members' benefits. Okay? Hopefully, it does not come down to that. In 1989, I can tell you from a historical perspective that we did receive a letter in mid-September that Verizon was going to cut medical benefits for employees. And then you have the right to COBRA benefits. You have 90 days to pay into COBRA benefits. So right now there is no reason to panic on medical benefits. No reason to panic. We are hopeful that we can get back to the bargaining table and negotiate in good faith with this company. The union has been there since the beginning to bargain in good faith with Verizon, recognizing some of the issues they have. We recognize their issues going back 2005, when they wanted to embark on the new business that they embarked on, Fios. And it was distasteful for many of our members, and I understand that, to get into this Fios environment. But the union felt that we had no alternative because the traditional type of telephone service, there was no future in that for anyone. And we can see areas where the company did not invest in Fios, what is happening in those areas. So we embraced it. Our members went out and sacrificed, became trained, moved into different jobs. It wasn't easy. But when the company says that times have changed, we got to be competitive, we know that. We live that. And it wasn't easy, but we did it because we've been doing it for the past 100 years with any change in technology. We did it because we were assured, not only here in Rhode Island, but in Massachusetts, New York, and everywhere else, that if we embraced this, then the company was going to invest in new jobs in our areas, new opportunities for our existing members and new members. And for a couple of years, they followed through on their commitment. And then, about 2 years ago, at least from the information we received at the bargaining table, they began opening up non-union and offshore centers and started channeling calls out of the traditional IBEW and CWA call centers and technical support centers into these other centers. Well, right now, there are 1,650 contractors doing fiber solution center work who want Verizon employees. There's 1,500 who are. This has all happened over the past maybe 2.5 years. So while the Fios product is growing, while the Fios product continues to be very successful, while the Fios product is generating a lot of revenue for Verizon, they've turned their backs on the people who made the product, provisioned the product, taking calls from customers on the product, and that is what we have to stop if we're going to have a future here in IBEW. And that's what our issue is, and that's what we're struggling right now with this stripe to accomplish. But I am confident, along with everyone else who spoke, that we will indeed win this battle. We'll win this battle because of you and what you've done and what you'll continue to do, because you are the best and you are proven, and we are going to hang tough. Thank you.